I refuse to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncer's guilt ring.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day.
Oscar Bevis, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. Ellis, good to see you, my man. I bet it's been a very interesting 12 hours in kind of letting the emotion set in, obviously seeing everyone who supports you and who you care about celebrating, and probably just having a bit of a sigh of relief that it's kind of done and you're the champ.
Yeah, and like I said yesterday, it's just like all I've wanted all my career, I guess, especially since I've been 9-0, just to kind of have something tangible like this. Obviously, I won the boxer, that was a good tournament, and I signed with Frank, and that was another positive. But just to have a belt, something that I can kind of keep and hold on to and say it's mine. And again, just like, you know, I was headlining at York Hall, sold the most tickets I've ever sold, and I got, you know, contender for knockout of the year performance, so I closed out the show in a very positive way. So I'm just over the moon with it couldn't have really gone any better. Yeah.
I'm always interested when fighters have had such a night where you win a title, you're in a loud arena, there'll be so much adrenaline kind of when you get that moment to even just to yourself where you just kind of go, like, because there will be a moment where the adrenaline stops and you kind of just, what was kind of the after bit like for you? Or did you go out partying?
No. But I got back to had an Airbnb and we went to bed at like 4 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, like you said, not a sigh of relief, but just like, I've done it now. You know, I've achieved it. Like, I've achieved what I wanted to do. I got myself a world ranking now. Gonna have a good target on my back after this. So it's still sinking in, like, even now, to be honest with you. But I'm just over the moon. It's all I've wanted to do. Yeah, I'm so happy.
Yeah, I saw Queensbury posted a picture of you bringing the belt to your 6-year-old daughter. That must have been a special moment.
Yeah, man. Again, just when I'm nervous or when training's hard, like, she's who I'm kind of thinking about, or who I'm not dedicating it to, but that's like my reason to kind of keep going, if that makes sense, when things are hard. So it was just kind of like a real nice gesture for me to bring it back to her, if that makes sense. Yeah, it kind of warmed my heart a lot. Yeah.
Well, it's definitely not going to be the last belt she sees, that's for sure. It's funny because we spoke and we said we don't need another fight like Dex Spellman, and it wasn't like that. It was another entertaining 7 rounds. So, like I said, you're going to get the tag of being entertaining. People who've watched you now will be saying, yeah, you need to watch Ellis Zorro. So I suppose there's another positive alongside the win that it was good fun to watch last night.
Yeah, no, it wasn't as like tough as the Dex Spellman fight. I think I was in better shape. I think I was a little bit more well prepared mentally as well, just headlining and whatever, and it being for a belt. But yeah, like, you know, taking punches, like giving away a few rounds, then coming back. You know, I just showed that I can persevere when things are a bit difficult. And then, like I said earlier, to close it out with a knockout like that, it's just like, it's all the pieces to the puzzle that make an entertaining fight. And that's my second entertaining fight in a row on TV. So, you know, yeah, I'm looking forward to having more of them.
How much adapting did you have to do in the ring? Because I asked you yesterday after the fight, was it like what you expected? And you said in places, yes, but obviously in places, no as well. So how much adapting did you have to do kind of in between rounds?
Quite a bit, like during rounds as well. Like, just like I said, I don't know if I said it to you yesterday, but like just Hosea's jab and his feet and his like control of distance was quite well. And I'm not like a bulldozer kind of fighter, and I think them kind of fighters will have more success about him. But I'm a bit like Hosea. I'm a bit of a boxer, but he's taller and he's more rangy than me. So yeah, just trying to maneuver that past his jab and set up my offense as well. But at the same time, trying to be first and be busier than him. So it was kind of challenging. But as the fight was going on, I think it was the 5th round, I saw that he was starting to slow down a bit. His body language was changing. His facial expressions were changing. And that helped me to grow in confidence. And yeah, I just kind of took it from there. Like, I knew I was going to get to him. I didn't know I was going to stop him with one shot like that, but I knew I was going to get to him before the end of the fight.
Right, be honest, how many times have you watched the shot? Because I was on the train home watching it, sending it to people going, have you fucking seen this? All the boys in the group chat going, that is one heavy shot. Punch, curtains, how many times have you watched it?
Yeah, probably a couple hundreds, I'm not even going to lie. Like, especially the last actual one. Yeah. I mean, when I first hit him with the right hand and I hit him with the left hook, that was a good shot as well, that left hook. But it just didn't catch him as flush as the other right hand did. But the second right hand was, whew, I mean, and to hear Carl Frampton say on BT that he thinks that will be like knockout of the year, that was obviously encouraging. Someone I look up to. But yeah, it was just a great shot. I was setting it up all night throwing that jab to the body, staying over quite low and not following over with the right hand. And when I did, I just don't think he was ready for it. And I don't know how alert he was at that point because he'd just been just got off the canvas anyway. But yeah, one of the best punches I think I've ever thrown or landed. Yeah.
More time to do it as well. Obviously, let this sink in, which, you know, he said it still fully hasn't. Celebrate the win, enjoy it and whatever. But boxing moves quickly, man. Everyone is always so eager to say what's next. I'm sure you've probably had people out there going, who do you want next? Not necessarily a direct name, unless you want to give us something. But what's the aim next for you? Are you just looking to kind of defend that and keep building? Because I think you'll admit yourself, by winning that, you're not straight into the top of the domestic level. So are you still looking to defend that build, or what options have you kind of got in your head?
I think like what you said earlier is important about me being an entertaining fighter. I think like other platforms, like if they're looking for an opponent, I'm always someone who's going to be there, if that makes sense. I want to get more titles. Like if worse comes to worse and I can't get an opponent, I can always defend that. And that will kind of prevent me from being inactive, which is obviously a good thing for me. There's no particular cruiserweight that I want. Obviously, I'm in the top 10. I think I'm 7th on BoxRec. Anyone in or around my kind of level would obviously be great. I would like to have some domestic dust-ups because, I mean, I could defend this against someone from Europe, but like, I'd rather be involved in like domestic clashes that I'm from Britain. I don't need to fight for the British in my next fight, but I'd love to be British champion at some point. That's something that when you get into professional boxing, like, you know, you want to do. So yeah, well, let's see what happens. Obviously, a lot is happening in the cruiserweight division, literally very, very, very soon, in and around my kind of level. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. Who wins, who loses. I'll speak to Martin Bowers and see what he says, and then we'll go from there.
Obviously, you've got Chev and Jameson fighting, Meek Howlow and Isaac Chamberlain. Just on both of them fights, how do you see them going?
I think Isaac Chamberlain beats Lawal. I actually had Isaac sparring, or we had each other sparring for this camp. Highly motivated. He's looking really good, really sharp, really strong. I think
a lovely little storyline, by the way, for the future. When
I think he's a better boxer than Lawal as well. The Chev and Jameson one, I've actually sparred both of them. I've done quite a few rounds of Chev, to be honest with you, and I think them two will gel quite well. David Jameson, really strong, good guy. I like him as well. They'll probably clash in the middle. I don't really know. I think that one's going to be a test of endurance, to be honest, because they're both quite durable, can both punch and take a punch. But yeah, I back Isaac to beat Lawal in the British fight, yeah.
We look forward to seeing you out soon and kind of the progression of where it goes from here. It's definitely going to be an exciting journey. I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. I've got to talk, obviously, about Coley and William Smith. Domestic world title fights don't come around all the time, so there is a bit of a buzz around it. I know Lawrence kind of got a little bit of stick for his last performance and performances of previous, but I don't know, I look at Lawrence's domestic world title fight. Surely this is one that can't be a shit. I don't want to jinx it, but
yeah, I don't think it will be, but I think just more importantly why it won't be is because this won't be the first time that Chris William Smith is going to be in front of Lawrence. He's used to Lawrence, so if Lawrence is trying to, you know, smother his work or hold or clinch or whatever people accuse Lawrence of doing, that makes it not entertaining. Chris will be kind of used to it if they've been sparring all them rounds, or at least Shane will be used to it. They'll have a game plan to kind of nullify that, which other fighters don't get the opportunity to do. But yeah, it's a massive fight. I don't really know. I kind of back Lawrence, if that makes sense. Like, I still feel like he's got that kind of punching power. But if anyone is going to beat Lawrence, it's probably going to be Chris, just because he knows him. But again, I think it must be weird. Like, I think deep down, one of them two know who is the better fighter and who's more likely to win, which I find quite interesting. But we'll see. I'm definitely going to tune into that one. Yeah, that whole card's quite good.
it's so interesting you should say that, actually, because that's true. The amount of rounds they would have done, talking about knowing a fighter inside out, like, I think they said they would have sparred up to over 1,000 rounds. Like, is there anyone around your weight you could compare? Like, who have you done the most rounds with?
To be honest, nothing like 1,000, but probably Dan Aziz. He's not my weight, he's light heavyweight, but every Friday at Peacock, he would come down and we would do like a 6 or an 8 or whatever. And you just get used to someone's style, if that makes sense. Can
it make the spars not boring, but does it ever get to a point where you're like, we've done this too many times now?
Yes and no, but it depends what you're trying to get out of the spar, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's why I find that so interesting. Like, they sparred so many rounds. I'm guessing some of the rounds are not always going to be trying to knock each other out. Like, some of them probably been learning rounds as well. So I don't know, but like it's tough going off Lawrence's last performance. I don't know if Chris thinks that's what Lawrence is going to bring to this next fight. If he does, then he might come up short, because I feel like Lawrence will try and improve, obviously, and change a few things. This will be his second fight, I think, under Sugar Hill. So it's a really interesting, intriguing fight. I feel like safe money would be Lawrence. Does carry the nullifying punching power as well. So yeah, we'll see.
A really good fight. Ellis, thanks for giving me some of your time. Can we have a quick little look, like kind of a shot of the belt in with you? It's is it just nice to like hold and feel?
Yeah, like I said, it's good to have something tangible that's like me. You know, it's big, it's heavy. It could strap over my shoulder, around my waist. So yeah, man, I've been smiling ever since. I ain't really put it down.
How long till that's the WBO world title? I don't know why I asked that. We're just starting off. I'm getting carried away.
I don't know, like because of my division that I'm in, it could be 12 months. Do you know what I mean?
Do you think it makes the potential sooner just because there's domestic fights? If there's not much going on, they could go, you know what, let's get Ellis domestic interesting.
I think that phone call can be there. I ain't had as many 12 rounders as anybody else. I haven't had a 12 rounder, but I'm an undefeated. I'm 16-0. I'm ranked number 7th in the country. This will give me a world ranking. It's not necessarily like the goal, but again, if the phone rang, I wouldn't turn down a world title shot. Do you know what I mean? Like, why? I'm 30 years old. Like, why would I turn down a world title shot? You know what I mean? So yeah.
Because I refuse to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncer's guilt ring.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day,